Hello, this is Celeste of Astrology by Celeste, and I am now live on YouTube. I'm going to be talking about the Aries full moon that's coming up this Wednesday. Now, because I'm recording this through Zoom, I can't see the chat on YouTube, but if you have a question and you put it in the comments section, I will answer it later when I get a chance. So thank you so much for joining. I hope you enjoy this. I have been very verbose today. I talk forever on my Instagram Live. Hopefully I will keep this more concise, but we'll see. Let's see. Okay. Yes, so welcome to the Aries full moon video. I'm calling it Explosive Tendencies. It will become clear soon why. And yes. So if you're new to me and my channel, I'm Celeste Brooks. I'm an astrologer, coach, and intuitive. I'm a Taurus sun, Aries moon, Cancer rising, and the founder of the Moon Mastery Program, which is coming back in teaching it live in early 2022. So stay tuned. Get on my mailing list in order to be aware of all the details on that. Yeah, I used the moon cycles to retire early from my corporate career and pursue my calling full time of being an astrologer. I love this quote. It's attributed to Maya Angelou, and I've learned that people will forget what you said, will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. So I think this is something to really keep in mind this week. Yeah, think about how you're making your loved ones feel with what you do, your actions and your words. Oh. So at the Aries full moon, the sun is in Libra and the moon is in Aries. These two signs oppose each other. Libra is cardinal air. It's all about the partner and how we partner, and naturally rules the seventh house. And Aries is cardinal fire. It's all about the self, how we take action in the world, and it naturally rules the first house. So Libra and Aries are on the axis of partnership. Now, keep in mind, the sun is our conscious mind. It speaks to our identity, our essence, our life force, our outer expression. And some things you can think about with the Libra essence is the partner, the diplomat, being balanced, artistic, charming, diplomatic. On the shadow side, Libra can be indecisive, codependent, and people-pleasing. So it's ruled by the scales. It's the only sign that doesn't have a heart, which is so interesting for the sign that rules partnership. Yeah. And so cardinal signs are also very initiating. So Aries and Libra are both initiating signs, are both leadership signs, are both yang signs pushing energy outward. But Aries more is, they're both fighters. Aries fights for the self or fights for the cause. Libra can often fight for the others. A lot of lawyers are Libras, or have Libra signatures. Like I said, diplomats, artists. There's all sorts of people have this Libra energy of wanting to bring balance. And we're getting near the end of Libra season because this will be at 27 Libra, the sun will be. Now, the moon is our subconscious. It's our emotions, it's our feelings, our instincts, and our intuition. It really speaks to needs, habits, and behaviors. And we need to be especially aware, have the be the observer, take a higher view with this, because Libra, being the scales, having no heart, can be kind of emotionally detached. But it's our conscious, how we're feeling. We feel fine. We're doing just great. Everything's all right. I've been watching The Marriage Story on HBO, and this is such a good, excuse me, I have to, such a good movie that speaks to this axis. Because they're all nicety nice, even though they're getting divorced with each other, until they get to a breaking point. And then the Aries, the Mars in Aries comes out. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry. I'm going to have to sneeze. Excuse me. That is not very elegant. That is not very Libra, but it's life. Okay, so hopefully this will clear quickly, because yeah. Anyway, so lost my train of thought. So yeah, they're being all nicety nice, elegant on the surface, everything, trying to maintain balance. We each share the kid, blah, 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 blah. And then they have the knockdown, drag out fight where they start saying things to each other that are coming from, the depths of anger and rage and fury that leads to like saying things that are so harsh. Yeah, it's a good movie. I'm not done with it yet. But anyway, that's the moon in fire in Aries, being subconscious, being, even on the surface, as the surface looks placid, underneath there can be this this rage, because Mars rules Aries. So some signatures of Aries are the self, independent, being assertive, being competitive, having courage. On the shadow side, being rude, being impulsive, like that rage bubbling up and just saying something so hurtful that it's devastating. Being self-centered, being arrogant, being aggressive. That's the word I'm thinking of. So this is what we're dealing with. We're dealing with the self and the other. Okay. So with the moon cycles, we have the opportunity to work through these cycles in every month, where the sun and moon meet together at the new moon. This month, there was a new moon in Libra. We've been thinking all about partnership. We set intentions around how we partner with our loved one. And it's really like one-on-one partnership. So it can be your business partner, your marriage partner, your romantic, long-term romantic partner. This is not like love affairs. This is partners. There's a sense, a contract, a BFF. If anyone has ever seen, I shouldn't even mention that I've watched this. I don't watch it now, but The Real Housewives of Atlanta, and Cynthia gave Nene a friendship contract. That's like the the Libra essence. Yeah, there's a commitment here. And then in the monthly cycle, a week later, we have a first quarter moon where the sun and moon square each other. Is activating. It's a crisis of action. And then at the full moon, we have the sun and moon 180 degrees apart from each other. They're as far apart as they can be. You get perspective. All is illuminated. It's out in the open. The signs are in ones that oppose each other. A week later, there's the crisis of conscience, where we think back of the lessons learned and we make final adjustments, and then we start to release as we come back to a new cycle, and we get a chance to do it again in a different sign and often a different house in our chart. So we get to go through all 12 signs of the zodiac every year and have this new start, and have this cycle where we start things, bring them to a culmination, and then let them go. It's more natural to wax and to wane, not just go, 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 go. Anyway, there are these larger cycles as well. And an astrologer named Dietrich Pessin was the one who figured this out. And she noticed these cycles and started tracking them and wrote a book about it. And I have at the end a reference for this. And she called them moon phase families or lunar gestational cycle. And this is where we have the sun, we have over a 27-month period, a 2.5-year period, the sun and the moon go through this same kind of cycle I just explained, but every 9 months, they have, the moon has an activation. The moon is at approximately the same degree every 9 months, activating the same area in your chart, and there will be large stories. So it's great to work with if you have a big thing you're working on. So for this one, oops, that doesn't look right. Is that right? Oh my God, these dates are wrong. I didn't, this is last month. I'm gonna have to fix these dates. You'll see them posted on, oh geez. Let's see. Sorry about that. This is Mercury Retrograde. Ah, it's going, crap. It's going direct tomorrow, but it's got to have one last hoo-ha with me. So apologies for that. Here it is. I swear I did this. I don't know what happened. I've got no excuse. Okay. These are the dates. No, they're not. Maybe I haven't done it. Oh man. You got to be kidding. Oh, here it is. It is this. Jesus. Apologies. So this is the moon phase family. So at the new moon, it was actually a new moon in Taurus in April of 2020. So April 22nd to be exact. So yeah, you can think back to what started in your life around then about like Taurus themes, around comfort, around security. See how new that degree was? It was at 3 degrees. And yeah, now oftentimes they're in the same sign. They're most of the time, they're all 4 of these things are in the same sign. But when it's at the very beginning or that very end of a sign, it can cross the sign boundary. So this new moon a year and a half ago was in Taurus. The first quarter moon as well was in Taurus, but now we're in the late signs of Aries, the late degrees of Aries. And I really see this symbolically about, you know, we've really changed our relationship with security throughout this pandemic. Yeah, back then it was like a month in, we thought we were going to get ready to go back to life as it was, and it never happened, and it's still an issue. And you know, the world has just changed so much. So you can really think back about, that's one of the themes you can think back about about security, your relationship with security, how it's impacted your courage, how you've realized how much more you need to rely on yourself. And how you take action in the world differently based on what you've learned over the last year and a half. Where have you been impressed with yourself about how you've moved through this difficult period? And that have you found some fortitude that you didn't even realize you had? Can't believe that. I am so sorry. And I double checked it, but you know, we had the start of the full moon was in, because the Aries, that's probably why I missed it. Anyway, sorry, we're going on. I do these things live so that I can't stop them and start over. But this is the one where it would have been a nice thing to do, to stop it and start over and fix the slide. But we're just gonna roll with it. I can blame Mercury retrograde, Mercury stationing. So it's like trying to get one last whack in before it gets moving again. It stations tomorrow. Okay, so this is Sunday, but on Wednesday, Mercury and Jupiter that station on Monday, so they've both been retrograde. Mercury retrograde is far more known, happens more often, causes more disturbance than Jupiter retrograde in general. But Mercury, Jupiter, and Saturn are now going to be all direct in air signs. Pluto went direct already. Everything's direct, really. All the planets will be direct except for Neptune and Uranus. But I really like that the Mercury, Jupiter, and Saturn are direct in air signs. Air signs is about communication. I have loved Saturn being direct. It went direct, I believe, last Sunday. And it's just given me so much energy. Maybe this is why I can't shut up. I'm talking so much because of all this air. Yes. And it should give us energy to achieve our goals, should increase even more. I'm so excited for this. And improved communications and less breakdowns of technology and nonsense like this with my slide that we just went into will be less likely once they all get direct. Now, Mercury will take some time, so will Jupiter, to build back up some speed. So yeah, it takes a little time, but we're going in the right direction. We're going to get this forward push, this forward momentum over the next couple of weeks. Now, I like to, be really positive about things, but this full moon is a very intense one. Emotions are going to run high. Just be careful, make decisions about what you're going to engage with consciously, because there is the potential, there's a thin line between love and hate, and there's a potential to just go to war. And the reason for this is because this full moon, the sun is in Libra at 27, the moon is in Taurus at 27. Mars is coming right up to the sun, and Mars doesn't do so well in Libra. It is what is called in detriment. Mars likes to be in Aries, and Mars is ruling the moon, and Mars doesn't like to be in Libra because it doesn't like to consider anyone else. It just wants to take action for itself to get its desires met, its needs met. Mars separates. Mars cuts. So Mars is a malefic planet. So, Mars can bring not such great things. Inflammation, I talked about this in the live if you want to learn more about that. I had a sty in my eye. My moon is at 17 degrees of Aries. So as Mars was coming up to oppose my moon, I got a sty in my eye. Mars causes inflammation. Yeah. Anyway, then both of these are also activating the Aries-Pluto square. Aries is a dwarf planet that is Mars's sister. She is the goddess of chaos. So this is also a planet seen in war. This square was very active when Afghanistan fell in 11 days. Yeah, and Aries is out there even farther than Pluto. She takes 500 years plus to move through all the zodiac signs. She's been in Aries since 1922. So most people alive have Aries in Aries. So I don't look as closely at it in specific charts. You would only just look at the house. But unless it's like activating something else. I don't use it so much in natal charts, but in mundane astrology, it's pretty big. So, and it also can be, and when squaring Pluto, you know, Pluto, the lord of the underworld, the destroyer, that brings up, Pluto unearths things. Pluto brings things up to the surface to be dealt with and eliminated, eradication by fire, we can think of with Pluto. So with Aries square Pluto, we've seen a lot of stuff come up around people being sexually abused, young people, young women, even children, when this square is active, and Mars is activating it as well as the full moon. So what we have here, let me draw this so you can see. What's that? Okay. We have, so the sun and Mars is opposite the moon and Aries. So these two are conjunct, these two are conjunct, and they're both squaring Pluto. And this is what's called a T-square. And it's called a T-square because it has a release point. Pluto is the focal planet. The release point is opposite. So opposite 24 Capricorn is 24 Cancer. So this is a T-square. It is a chart pattern. So there's a potential for intense emotions. There's a potential for an easy access to rage, power struggles. People, I almost called this kaboom, or called it going postal, or is another thing that I think about with this. But what we're going to do is we're going to use this energy to find our courage, to break codependency patterns. Libra can be codependent on the shadow side. So use this energy to maybe try to stand up for yourself in relationships, or, you know, when you're gonna just say yes, because that's what you always say. Just say no for something that you don't have the time or the bandwidth to do. Just say no, I'm sorry, I can't do that. You could just say no. No is a complete sentence. But yeah, I just don't have the time and the bandwidth to do that. And you don't even have to say anything about, oh, I would love to help you so much, or all of that stuff. Just say no, you can't do it. Yeah. Break codependency, break people pleasing. Just practice once a week if it's a real issue for you. You will, you know, the roots of why you do it are not just because you want to be a nice person. It's because you want approval or some other things. So really try to break those habits. And people aren't going to like it at first, but give it a try. And it's also an opportunity to battle for a good cause, especially if you're fighting for women or children's rights. Now, as I mentioned, this T-square releases into Cancer. Cancer is a water sign. Cancer's emotional. Cancer speaks to the mother. It speaks to home, family, and foundations. It speaks to emotions. So be aware that high emotions can lead to lashing out at the self or loved ones. I'm worried this week for people who have the issues with depression, or issues with explosive anger, or issues with, you know, feeling life has no meaning, or feeling like, feeling really down. I feel like this is a transit that people could impulsively do things to hurt themselves. And remember, we don't seek permanent solutions for transitory problems. I don't know what the thing is they say about suicide prevention, but, you know, suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. So anyone who's really struggling with that kind of stuff, reach out to, if it's you, call a hotline or a friend, or, you know, someone And if it's someone you're worried about, just check in. Check in. This is a big week that could be incredibly intense, and Aries can be impulsive. So practice self-care. Especially if you have a lot of water in your chart, spending time alone to make sure you're clear about what is your emotion then versus what is the other emotion. Watch out for psychic overload. Know which emotions are yours. Recenter yourself. Okay. Oh, let me erase all this stuff. Okay. Okay. The other thing, asteroid Juno. Juno is the asteroid of marriage. She was Zeus's wife, long-suffering wife. And she is squaring Neptune and Pisces. Neptune, the planet of illusions and delusions. This could be someone in a love relationship, could be doing something deceptive or lying. I pulled tall tale this morning. Yeah. Yeah. So it could also be a potential desire to break free of committed relationships that feel like obligations. So don't lie, be straightforward. If you don't want to do something or go somewhere, yeah, watch out for deception this week. But remember, transits are temporary. So if we're talking about your marriage, do something to bring back the fun. If you've had just about enough of that person, remember all the things you loved about them. It's Libra season, and watch your words. Don't go to Marriage Story argument. Oh, that was Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson. Very good so far. Yeah. Okay. And Mercury in Libra is also opposite Chiron. And see, it's still at 10 degrees. It's at 10 degrees today. So Mercury at its fastest can move like a degree and a half today, but it's stationing. So the retrograde is where it looks like it's going backwards from our perspective. And the degree it stops at before it starts moving forward is called the station. Whether it stops there and then moves back, and now it's stopped there getting ready to move forward. So it's moving forward, but really slow. And it's at 10 degrees, almost 10 and a half degrees. Yeah. So use love language to heal old wounds. Chiron's the wounded healer. An apology can transform your relationships. It can go a long way. Yeah. So I pulled the chart of the United States and the full moon, because the United States Pluto is at 27 Capricorn. So as well, there may be something we see this week around the news. It's been going on for quite a while. It's on brand with the Saturn-Uranus square this year, that all of these ships are like stuck in harbors. They cannot unload them fast enough because they don't have enough workers. And there's just this bottleneck, this backlog at different ports. Companies are like flying things in at like huge costs. All this money is being lost because of this crisis and this breaking down of the supply chain. The supply chain is a Saturnian structure. The breakdown is Uranus square Saturn. Uranus in Taurus. Taurus rules money. Square Saturn in Aquarius. So there's this breakdown of this like entrenched structure that's causing like this unevenness about money, this Uranian just stuff. So I don't know. Could something shocking around this happen this week? I don't know. And the reason this is what I think may be the story is Venus is on the ascendant. So that speaks to about in a horror area, it speaks about the people. But Venus rules money. So yeah, I don't know. This is what came to me. And we have the sun and the moon. They're not just squaring, they're squaring Pluto in the sky, but that's about 3 degrees away. They're squaring the United States Pluto exactly. So that T square releases in the second house is about finances. It's about banks, financial institutions. It's about our resources. And the release is in the 8th house of debt. So maybe Congress, I know they extended the debt ceiling till December, but I don't know. Something else could come up about our debt, or there could be like issues with the stock market. That's more 5th house, I think, the stock market, because it's like gambling. Yeah, I'm not positive, but that's what's coming to me. But this is definitely the 2nd house of resources. And also Saturn is on the South Node. The South Node is like, the South Node takes things away. Saturn restricts. That's not, I mean, Saturn's South Node is not a good transit. It typically brings something unpleasant, and Saturn's been stationing on the South Node, and the full moon is an activation. So be aware of stories you hear this week about the country's finances, debt, as well as our banks and institutions. Yeah. And yeah, I also thought about maybe a peace treaty could be something that's because Mars is near the sun. Mercury news. Libra rules war, or Libra, excuse me, Aries rules war, Libra rules peace, and things about peace treaties and things like that. And Venus, we also think about Venus and peace, and with being in Sagittarius, something overseas. So maybe news about Afghanistan or something, there could be death involved, the release into the 8th house. I don't know. But watch the news, keeping this in mind about the 2nd house of the United States, about their finances and things. The sun is shining in the 10th house of the leader. Mars is there. Interesting to see, any news about Joe Biden this week, if it relates into any of these stories about debt, blah, blah, blah. So think about that. Okay. So it was so interesting when I put this together. Really, one of the things that really stuck out at me is that Vesta is in Scorpio on a world point, 15 degrees of Scorpio, 15 degrees of the fixed signs of Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius are world points. When we have planets there, it tends to bring something about a big story that has, lots of people hear about. So I was thinking, what is this? And I wrote down, like, it could be about devastation to homes. Vesta rules homes, the home and the hearth. So I was wondering if there's going to be a weather event. Scorpio, we think about death. We think about destruction. We think about, taboo things. Vesta is also about devotion. What are we devoted to? So the word cult came to my mind, but I was writing about stories about, and with Scorpio, we think about a shadow of Scorpio can be like a taboo things like sex abuse and things like that. So I forget what I wrote. I deleted it because I thought it would be, oh no, I didn't delete it. Here it is. News stories around the destruction of home, women obsessed by love, violation of young women. And then this morning I saw this story. The Love Has Won cult leader Amy Carlson mummified. I never even heard of these people. It's some small little cult in Colorado. In April, the authorities found that this woman, who's their leader, who they called Mother of God, Amy Carlson, was mummified, and they were like sprinkling essential oils on her. Mummification is such a Scorpio term. They would mummify in Egypt, mummify the pharaohs before sending them on their journey to the underworld. and Pluto rules Scorpio. So Pluto's the lord of the underworld. So this is like unbelievably on point. And they were on Dateline on Friday, had a story about these people. And Vesta was at 14 degrees, which is so close to a world point. It's on a world point. It's pretty much on a world point. And so Uranus was opposite at 13 Taurus, 14 Scorpio. They're still opposite at this full moon. It's just going to be 15 exact. And so shocking news is a signature of Uranus activating things. So shocking news about this stuff is just so on point. And the cult is called Love Has Won, and it's Libra season, having it on TV in Libra season. Yeah, Vesta and Scorpio, mummification of their leaders so they could continue their devotion. Vestal virgins, they were responsible for the hearth and the hearth fire. They had independence from men. I think this cult was all women. Yeah, and they worship this woman as their god. So yeah, so on point with astrology is something. Okay. So the Sabian symbol for this is a large disappointed audience. And to me, this really jumped out about the issue with the ships and the ports and the, people, they keep talking about how Christmas is not, order your gifts now, because at Christmas time, they may not come in because of the delays in shipping. And I keep hearing people talking about how they're not getting the goods that they wanted in order to do the events or whatever they wanted to do. It's causing disappointment to their, the audience. And the audience is Aquarius, Saturn and Aquarius, constriction around large amounts of people. And these are, Linda Hill wrote a book about the Sabian oracles, and the Sabian oracles were this clairvoyant Elsie Wheeler sat under a tree with an astrologer, Mark Edmund Jones, and went through every degree of the zodiac, and she channeled images. And you really can look at your sun, moon, and rising, or all your planets, and see if you see a story about your life. And you should look at the degree of, the degree after. Yeah, but you always go up one. So if you have a planet at 27, you read 28, but you can read 27 and 28 of that sign. Yeah, you can Google it, the Sabian Oracle. There's some stuff on Google, and then you can, she also has a book, it's in the reference section. But you might feel as though you or someone else has failed and left others wanting. I feel like this is that Venus in Sag square Neptune. Yeah, it's yeah, and getting into new relationships. Just remember, like, there could be some rose-colored glasses. Venus, I'm sorry, it was Juno in Sag square Neptune, but Venus is coming to the square. So keep that in mind. Sometimes it's necessary to acknowledge when an idea or action needs to be dropped, stopped, or be able to cut your losses. So Mars next to the sun, Mars separates, Mars cuts. This gives us the courage to make the changes we need. We need to remember that we often project our own thoughts and expectations onto others. That's very Neptunian. Perhaps we can actually learn something more from failure than success. That's a great thing to think about. Think about any failures or failed relationships. What have you learned from them? What have you learned through Mercury retrograde about relationships? Yeah. Okay, watch your reactions to the situations you're facing and see what comes up. What can you learn from observing your and others' expectations? How strongly do you expect them to be fulfilled? Yeah, this to me again triggers about the orders left unfulfilled. So the key words are around adjusting expectations, anticipating a different result from what is delivered, lines and cues of people that as well triggered the ships, and criticism. So watch out for being critical of others or saying mean things this week. Okay, now I'm going to pull a card for each sign of the zodiac, and I'm going to use the Animal Spirits deck by Colette Baron Reed because we're in Aries season. No, we're not. It's an Aries full moon. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It's symbolized by the ram. So we're trying to make the subconscious conscious, and Libra is a non-human, non-animal sign. So Libra is the scales, an inanimate object. So anyway, I just felt like this animal oracle is a good thing to do. So listen for your sun and rising signs. If you struggle this week emotionally, maybe the animal spirit can help you. Yeah, can help you this week. So let's start with Aries. This full moon is in your first house, and full moons are times to celebrate any wins. So any wins you've made in the terms of whatever, your relationships or whatever goals you set out at the new moon. It's also a great time to forgive others. It's also a great time to release what no longer serves you. So think about these topics in terms of the house it's in. So Aries, it's in your first house of the self, vitality, appearance, your soul. What can you release? Scarab beetle spirit. So this is what I pulled, the scarab beetle spirit. I pulled it in protection. This is about magic works through you. So I have to look this up. It's number 52. So that's a 7. How interesting. 7 is Libra. Let me see if I want to say anything. Yeah, do you doubt your marriage, your magic, or that you have no originality or creative juice? Creativity is a living force that comes to us. You are capable of resilience. So try to let go of feeling like you don't have any creativity or you're not magic. Really try to find your magic at this full moon. It's your full moon. Yeah. Yeah, have some confidence in yourself, Aries. Aries, you're supposed to be confident, but secretly there's a lot of lack of confidence. Try to get it back. Get your mojo back. So this is perfect for Taurus. Taurus, this is in your 12th house of secrets, mysticism, self-undoing. I pulled skunk spirit, but I pulled it in protection. It's the know your worth card. So this is an extra hug from the universe saying that, Taurus rules, Libra rules Taurus. Libra rules, and Taurus is about values and what we value, and insecurity, especially about physical looks and stuff, can be a Taurus thing, or feeling like not knowing your worth is a Taurus thing that's on the shadow side, Taurus can struggle with. So, and it can lead to self-undoing. So really try to release any self-undoing. Take care of your mental health, Taurus. And skunk spirit can help you. Could there be like a nice animal for somebody? Okay, let's do Gemini. Gemini, this is your full moon is in your 11th house of hopes and dreams and friends and groups. So think about what you're going to release in that area. Let's see. Antelope spirit. This is life is speeding up. So this is just knowing, with everything growing direct, Gemini, life is speeding up. You like to do a lot of multitasking, putting all kinds of things on your plate. So think about paring things down so that you don't get scattered or overwhelmed, or things start to, fall through the cracks, because life is speeding up. And think about the antelope to help you with that. Okay, Cancer, this is your 10th house of your career and social status and reputation. Oh, and this is Crow spirit, where I live in Oakland. Oh my God, we have this time of year, all these crows come in and they fly in formation and sit in the trees and make noise. They're pretty eerie. And it's about co-creating with spirit. So yeah, think about it's a manifestation card. Yeah, so think about how you want to manifest in your career and what you can release to keep yourself moving forward in that. You really work to align your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs with spirit, feeling the excitement and wonder. Yeah, you're on target to get your dreams come and manifest, but release anything that's not serving you. Cancer can want to take care of everything or put too much on your plate. I know I'm a Cancer rising. So release what is not serving you. Oh, this is fantastic. This is my rising sign. So yay. I'm going to co-create with spirit this week. And when I see these crows, I'm going to remember that. Okay, Leo, dear spirit in protection. Oh, this is so perfect. This is about bringing a gentle touch, the deer. I really want Leos to remember this. I'm thinking of one Leo in particular who needs to really heed this message. You can be getting juiced up and hottened by Mars and Libra. That's sextiles. There's an opportunity to get all with all this Libra stuff. It could be easy to step into like getting attention by showing out, showing up, showing out. I really want you to be gentle with people, Leo, because, you know, we know you like to shine your light, but yeah, do it in a way that doesn't lead to any hurt feelings. Yeah. And this is in protect. Be gentle with yourself. Leo can get into desiring the approval or the applause so much from others that when you don't get it, it can be hard to move forward. But really keep that in mind. And it's in your 9th house of higher learning, travel, philosophy. Is there anything you need to release around the old stories? Yeah. Okay. And Virgo, you got cat spirit in protection. So cat is your spirit animal this week. And it says, claim your independence, Virgo. Virgos can often be very independent, but let me see if in protection it says anything that we need to be extra aware of. Oh, there can be some unpredictable situations, and Virgo doesn't like that. Virgo likes to have everything organized and systemized. And yeah, are you hesitant to take a risk? So cautious because you fear you can't trust yourself. So this is a call for you to use Mars to give yourself courage. Yeah, Aries and Virgo don't really they're so different. They don't have anything in common in terms of mode or element. So yeah, use this opportunity, Virgos, to get some courage, to take some risks. It's in your 8th house. Think about facing your shadows that hold you back because you're worried about criticism or, you know, not being perfect or da 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 da. Okay, Libra, this is in your 7th house of partners. So yeah, this full moon is in your 7th house. So what do you need to know, Libra? Wombat spirit. Now came up in protection. There are a lot of protection cards because it's going to be a really intense full moon. So this says be at home. So I think this is, again, a call for you to be at home in yourself. And yeah, so think about the wombat. I'm sure Libra's like, I don't want to think about a wombat, but it's kind of cute. You can look, it's ugly cute. Yeah, so think about how you can be more at home in your own skin, how you can be more authentic, how you can move away from people pleasing and move away from codependence. And yeah, that is for you. And that is perfect. Use Mars to get the courage to cut away from those negative behaviors. The moon in Aries to get, yeah, be bold. Yeah. Go for what you want, not what everyone else wants. Yeah. Okay. And Scorpio. So this is in your 6th house of daily life and habits and things that can go wrong with health. So you want to release any negative habits. And Turkey spirit. Now this says give with gratitude and grace. Now it came up in protection. So let's see. And how nice, Turkey spirit. Let's see, because it came up in protection. I want to read. Are you giving? This can be a thing with Scorpios. Are you giving in order to receive in kind, keeping tally of how much you have given and what is owed? This is not the way to experience abundance. So yeah, keeping tally of that sort of stuff is really not. It's also like being overly possessive. Let go of scarcity and fear that you will not have enough. Yeah. Really try to embody abundance. Yeah, the turkey is a symbol of abundance. Really try to, to let go of the count and give with grace. Okay. Yeah, and release any bad habits. Okay, so Sagittarius, this is in the 5th house of fun for you. Think about children, dating, sex, creativity, fun. Oh, and it's ant spirit, and it's time to collaborate. Oh, so think about the ant and how they all work together. So, Sagittarius is very independent and freedom-loving sign. So think about it's Libra season, how you can work in partnership with others. 2 minds is better than one. Think about your resistance to collaboration if you have any of it. Yeah. Yeah, and release anything that's stopping you from enjoying the fun in life. Yeah. And if you said something a little too blunt, apologize and ask for forgiveness to a child or a dater, someone who you're dating or whatever. Okay. So Capricorn, you got dove spirit in protection. It says be peace. Wow. So Capricorn, Pluto's in your sign. You're under a lot of pressure this week with the full moon coming at you one side, the sun and Mars one way, the moon and Aries the other side, putting a lot of pressure on you. So we want you to be peace. Oh, this is so perfect. I can't even tell you. However disturbed the waters around you, however troubled your heart, dove spirit is there to remind you that peace without begins within. As soon as you connect with spirit through practices that awaken you from spiritual amnesia, you're being invited to sit in the safe nest. Yeah, soon waters will become still again. So yes, this is just a reminder. Do what you need to do to ground this week. Try not to get into it with other people. Try to get to meetings early or, do whatever you can to try to maintain your composure and your equilibrium, because it can be This could be a really rocky week, as I have said. So be peace, Capricorn, the dove. What a wonderful thing to have as your spirit animal. Yeah. And then what was next? Aquarius. Ooh, the moth spirit. So Aquarius is you're going to surrender. This is surrender now, and it came up in protection. So, think about the serenity prayer and having the strength to know what you can change and what you can't, and the wisdom to know the difference and know, release trying to. Aquarius is fixed air, can get a bee in your bonnet and just be like not wanting to let go of it or always think you're right. Let go of some ego stuff and surrender to have better relationships in this Libra season. And it's about in your third house of communication. Oh, I forgot to say Capricorn is in your fourth house of home, family, and foundation. So think about if there's been conflict with family as well as the outer world. Yeah. So Aquarius, third house of communication. Yeah, what can you let go of? Last but not least, Pisces, this is in your house of money, possessions, values, the second house. Okay. Ooh, chameleon spirit. Act as if. So act as if. Act as if you have the relationship you want. Act as if, Juno squaring your ruler Neptune, Juno about the relationship, the asteroid of partnership and marriage. Act as if you have everything you desire. Fake it till you make it. I see as that. Yeah, Pisces. Yeah, you should be able to, you're creative. Act as if your bank account is what you want it to be, or not in terms of spending, but I don't know. Outer conditions are changing and you're required to come into harmony so that you can co-create your greatest dreams. Feel sensitive? Yes, you do, Pisces. Well, good, because that will come in handy. Enabling you to adapt with whoever's around you. Even if you're in our uncharted territory, have complete faith in your ability to fit in and learn the lay of the land, adapting if necessary. You're a mutable sign. Adapting is something you can do. Act as if and do as others do, and do as others do until you become familiar in this new land. I love that. Okay. Well, I hope that helps people. Yeah, manage this big, intense week. Okay. So I always recommend to do a ritual. The moon is full, likely while you're sleeping. It depends where you live. It's at 7:56 a.m. Pacific time. So yeah, you might want to do this Tuesday night, because when we get up on Wednesday, well, depending where you are, it'll have already been full. So bring in the elements: fire, air, earth, and water. I love to have like a candle or incense. I always have flowers on my table, crystals, air, having a journaling practice, just even taking quiet time. If you don't want to, like, if you're just exhausted, just take some quiet time, sit in meditation, sit and just do nothing, sit and just think. Or water, oracle cards, or meditation. Yeah, so bring in all the elements, make space for your inner wisdom to emerge. Always, always, always celebrate any wins that you had this week. Yeah. These are some prompts. Now, there were some prompts in the Sabian symbol that you can, you can write about or pull a card about or what have you. But think about reflecting on your Libra new moon intentions from 2 weeks ago for bringing more balance into your relationships. What progress can you celebrate? What goals do you need to adjust, and what do you need to release? So think back to the start of the cycle, and actually it was a Taurus new moon in March of 2020. But what have you learned about emotionally managing your anger? Now we're in an Aries full moon, through disappointment and restrictions. You could also think about your relationship with security. Yeah, and what you've had to release around that. And how can you be more diplomatic when you encounter power struggles? Pluto is power. Pluto could be power struggles, and Pluto is very active. And Mars square Pluto is like the war aspect. So yeah, love as a battlefield. Don't let it have that. Like, how can you be more diplomatic rather than have love as a battlefield? And what two tactics will create more win-win situations in your relationship? This is a really good time to do some work, especially if you have a difficult marriage, to think about how you can make it better. And there's something as well about like putting ego aside to make it better for yourself, for your children, for your partner. Yeah. So the Setting Intentions Guide is a free resource. You can get it from my website. You download it, you get on my mailing list. I typically send 2 emails a month about the new and the full moon. Also, if I'm on any programs, I'll let you know. Dietrich Pessin wrote a book about the lunar gestational cycles. There's a link, an article. You could just Google her on Frank Clifford's website. That's a really nice summary of these 18-month cycles, 27.5-month cycles, where the moon is at approximately the same degree at a new moon, at a first quarter moon 9 months later, at a full moon 9 months later, at a last quarter moon 9 months later. It's this larger cycle where bigger projects or bigger things come to light and culminate, and you reap rewards or benefits. I'm so sorry the dates were wrong on that. That's the first time I've done that one. But anyway, it's Mercury Retrograde. Moonology is a great book. I love these others. The Sabian Symbols, the Rulership book by Rexy Bills. It talks about, what rules what. And The Archetypal Universe is a great book by Ren Butler. It puts together all the combinations of planets and gives you like keywords and summaries about them. Okay, where to find me? I'm right here on YouTube, my Astrology by Celeste website. Subscribe. Join the wait list for my Moon Mastery program coming again. I need to pick the exact date in beginning of 2022, where you can learn all about the moon, her cycles, your moon signature, and how to be more present with your life in order to manifest your goals and understand yourself and tap into your inner wisdom. You can book a reading, you can book an event or a coaching program. All go to my website for all of those events. You can just email me. And I'm on Instagram Live every Sunday at 9:30 a.m. Pacific time and Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Again, sorry for the technical difficulties, the sneezing, the coughing, the whole thing. These things happen and we keep it moving. So I hope you have a beautiful week. I hope you're one of the people you're like, what is she talking about? This was nothing. But if you're not, and it's really emotional, just know it is temporary. Transits are transits. They're transitory. Yes. To be informed is to be aware. Take good care of yourself. And I'll be on, if you're watching this live, I'll be on Instagram tomorrow morning to talk a little bit more and pull cards for all the signs. Bye.